Hello everyone. The lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu, the south and the north nodes changed places. You know, they're moving retrograde. They always have their retrograde motion. And on the 23rd of September, they entered the axis of Taurus and Scorpio. So they will stay there for 19 months. Following their retrograde motion. Before I explain you what I expect that this motion of the transits of Rahu and Ketu will bring us, along with the other important celestial events, just to make a small brief overview of what they mean in the horoscopes. Now, you know, Rahu and Ketu are very well and explained by the Indians, by the Vedic Indian cultures. I think that they have the best possible description and explanation of the lunar nodes, which really, as far as I can say from my experience, they really describe very well certain things in the horoscopes. But what they really mean, do you know that Rahu is they are representing a dragon who has no body? It's a demon. There are two demons actually, or they're called invisible planets. Just a brief overview to tell you. Rahu is the head of the dragon and Ketu is the tail of the dragon. They have no body, and that is why probably you notice that we are the people, we are always thinking, are always living either in the past or in the future. This is partially due to their influences. Now, Rahu, the head of the dragon, is more materialistic. He is showing what the soul is aiming at, what we want to achieve, what we really want to, we can get attached to gain in this lifetime. This is about Rahu. He is materialistic. He has nothing to do with the past, though Ketu is showing the past experiences, the talents, the expertises that we carry from the past lives. Ketu is very much about detaching us from this reality, because wherever he is, this place in the horoscope is considered of not such emphasis for this lifetime, because in this area where Rahu is in the horoscope, we got our experiences there. We know what this means. We, like, for example, if Ketu is in the third house of your horoscope, then you got these experiences. You are like a master, or you are expert in what Rahu Ketu in the third house means, because you brought this knowledge from your past expertises. Therefore, he has certain limiting function wherever he is also creating detachments and limitations. Due to their nature, Rahu being materialistic and related to the achievements in our society, in a way you can say that his nature a little bit resembles the nature of Uranus, because he's about achieving, he's about this desire to come up with something new, or it is really about the drive of people to create or to achieve something. So you can imagine that Rahu will feel very well in Taurus, the very materialistic sign, which is about money and beauty and materialism, of course. And then this is the head of the dragon. And then Ketu in Scorpio, where he's feeling well. They call this exaltation, but I read different literature. This is not exactly exaltation. These are probably the two places where they feel well and they are less harmful. Now, Ketu in Scorpio, of course, will feel well in the depth of the secretive, scorpionic insights and secrets and spirituality and netherworld, all what Scorpio means. Ketu is also about consciousness, reaching your consciousness. He's about higher spirituality and consciousness, and exactly the areas of your life where you come with experience. So Ketu feels very well in Scorpio because he is like deep in the waters of secrecy, spirituality, um, powerful intuition, esoteric knowledge, also fears. You can imagine that Scorpio ruling naturally the eighth house is where if we have a luminary, we are prone to fear. So Ketu easily can create such limitations too. So what is happening is now in September, Rahu and Ketu entered their places of so-called exaltation, and Rahu in Taurus for the humanity, for this, if you remember now, Rahu was for 19 months approximately in Gemini, and then Ketu was for the same period in Sagittarius. And you probably, when you think back, and especially if you have one of these two signs on ascendant or with the moon or on midheaven, you know best what their transit gave you, imagining that they're really not exalted in these two signs, but they're also not badly placed because they give their different meanings in the different zodiacal positions. So now the energies that they've been given while they were in Gemini and Sagittarius, now these energies are changed. They are already changed. So what I expect that they will give us, first of all, imagine Rahu beautifully placed in Taurus. In general, he's about people who want to achieve something of the Taurus-like energies, which is money, which is beauty, which is art too, which is understanding of beauty. So I believe that this can give some creative achievements. Also, this will have influence on the financial system. Not solely as Rahu entering Taurus, but we also have Uranus squaring Saturn, and we have these changes coming from the different aspects of the planets. But Rahu and Ketu come to help this, to make the picture complete. So since Taurus is so much about money, this can make activities like creating beauty, artistic activities, design being more appreciated by people. Products, beautiful products created by people will be more appreciated, and people will buy them more and will be more interested. This will also have impact, of course, on the financial system, and will bring up the value of beautiful things, even gold. It will have to do. Venus, which is ruling Taurus, is not ruling the gold because the sun is ruling the gold. But since it will be a lot about beauty, this will have influence too. But in any case, this for sure will have impact on the financial system because Taurus is the sign of money, and people will be willing to make money via different activities, which will be more like Taurus Venus-like activities. The beauty will be emphasized on. You probably noticed how recently, like the last, especially 5 years, the art, the music is a kind of bad, grotesque or bad. There is no real art that would be remembered in the future, and I hope that this placement of Rahu in Taurus will bring some fresh energies into the art. And in addition, of course, we will need to follow the course of Venus and her appearance to determine in what way people's talents and art will be influenced by the transit of Rahu. But I think that this will be a good transit for the coming 18 months. Of course, we cannot expect both to give blessing. They are not considered benefic. These are malefic dragons, demons, and also you can imagine that Ketu is always limitation. So if Rahu will bring certain achievements in relation to money, different ways of making money, beauty, art, design, and so you can imagine that Ketu will be different. He will be this limiting force in the sign of Scorpio, but it depends, of course, how this is placed in the horoscope. And I will be looking for this purpose. I will be looking at the 12 ascendants to tell you how Rahu and Ketu will change you, because they will bring changes for sure. Especially interesting and especially powerful will be the change for people who naturally have Rahu in Taurus and Ketu in Scorpio, or reverse. If they would have Ketu in Taurus and Rahu in Scorpio, then again they will certainly experience changes. This is for sure. And also, very important point is that while Rahu will be traveling and Ketu both, they will be traveling in Taurus and in Scorpio. Let's not forget that this whole axis of Scorpio Taurus is the most powerful axis of money. It is called axis of money. And we have the two royal stars there. We have Aldebaran in the 15 degrees of Taurus, in the eye of the bull, of the celestial bull. And but this is in the middle of the course transit of both Rahu and Ketu. And then we have Antares, which is in the 15 degrees of the celestial Scorpio, which is the stomach, the belly of the celestial Scorpion. So, of course, at one point in the middle of their course, when they reach these points, their influences will be really influenced by these two stars, of course. But now, when Rahu is let's say we start with Rahu, but also Ketu, of course. But let's look at Rahu. While Rahu now is crossing the sign of, is passing the sign of Taurus, he is, as we speak, in the 29 degree of Taurus, and he is passing already very special stars of money, and this will influence financially us, especially people who have Taurus on a key positions in their horoscope, because already the 30 degree is a sacred degree of money with the money star, Aunilam is there. And then further, when Rahu reaches in a couple of days the 27 degree of Taurus, this is Capella, another mighty, powerful star of money. So money and the desires of people to make money will be influenced. So on one hand, the governments will try to limit us by closures and fake measurements and just whatnot. But on the other hand, people will not be stopped, and their desires to make money, sometimes illusionary, will also cannot be stopped. But also innovative, because Rahu can be very innovative too. Illusionary also, but oftentimes you will notice that people with imagination, which start from very unrealistic idea, are the ones who are actually creating the future, are the real heroes of our society. So illusionary, yes. Let's not forget that the whole story behind the dragons, the demons, Rahu and Ketu, is based on the stories that he was turned into beautiful. Rahu was turned when they were intersected by God Vishnu, I think. I forgot the Indian mythological story, but when they were intersected, then Rahu was turned into beautiful, the most beautiful girl, lady on earth. So you see, it's an illusionary story behind, and we need to keep this in mind, that if you have the transit of Rahu on your ascendant Taurus, then of course keep in mind that this will be okay. Now I'm starting with this, with the ascendants, and if Rahu is coming on your first house, if this is your ascendant and this is Taurus, then you will your reality, your desires may shift. You may totally want to achieve different things. You will be more consecrated and concerned with yourself than the others, than with your relationships. It is at times the others may consider you or may perceive you as selfish because you think a lot about yourself, your own development, your own achievements. So Rahu will be very much about you, yourself, your because he means beauty, because Taurus means beauty, because Taurus means money. You may also be thinking about you making your own uh, earnings, your own money. You may also see that this is changing a bit your perceptions. Um, in any sense, in any sense, like finding more time and devoting more time and attention towards yourself, putting emphasis on yourself. But this can also help you reach um, aims and desires and your plans that before you couldn't achieve. So this is one thing. And but then on the very same moment you will be having Rahu on the Ketu on the 7th house, which could be a limiting factor for your relationship. Then this can create some misunderstandings there. So you may need really to establish balance between yourself, your own mission, if you want, with your own desires, and you may need to put attention and emphasis too on your relationship. This is very important. And then if Rahu, for people who have Aries ascendant, and if Rahu and Ketu will be on the axis of their 2nd and 8th houses, this is a good transit because this is the natural position of Taurus to rule your 2nd house, and this will be financially good. However, keep in mind that, like we said, Rahu is a little bit illusionary, and therefore he can put you in a situation of aiming at or desiring unachievable finances or financial, or could be that your financial plans will be not very realistic. However, like we say, sometimes when we people with imagination or people with brave wishes and dreams and plans are the ones who are the heroes. Therefore, this is not so bad, even good. And then on the other hand, you will be having Ketu, who will be on your 8th house. This again could be interesting for your spiritual awakening awareness, and could be a bit limiting factor for finances that you would probably want to achieve via partnership, or could be limiting for the finances of your partner. So as you can see, they cannot equally bring you good, but Taurus in the 2nd house could be interesting and good for the finances. If you have ascendant Pisces and Taurus come to be your 3rd house, and then Rahu will be on your 3rd house, and then Ketu will be on your 9th house. This again could be very interesting, but then the emphasis of Rahu will be more on studies, communication, relationship with siblings. He can be very innovative. Rahu in the 3rd house could be very innovative because naturally the 3rd house is ruled by Gemini, and in Gemini, which is the sign of communication, very intellectual, Rahu can give you exactly this intellectual desires for communication, for improving relationship with siblings, so or re-establishing relationship with your classmates or some things like that. But in any case, this is interesting and absolutely good placement of Rahu. But then on the other hand, Ketu will be on your 9th house. This can create some limitations in relation to communication with your spiritual teachers, your gurus. This can be a limiting factor there. So there you may need to watch out and seek to establish balance between between Rahu and Ketu, obviously, and then Ketu in the third house can also be limiting in terms of communication with people abroad, or could be that he puts you in a situation of not searching, not desiring to have such. But Rahu in the third house is something very good. And then for people who have ascendant Aquarius, then Rahu will be on their fourth house, and fourth house is the home. Fourth house is the mother figure. So Rahu in the fourth house will be your desires, your love towards your home. Yeah, like desire, finding comfort at home, or maybe willing to do business like real estate. Or improving relationship with your mother, with your parents. And then Ketu on the 10th house will be a strong limiting factor for you to build career, because he will be a limiting, restrictive factor there. He would make you think, I don't want to have career, I don't want to be limited, I don't want to work in a team, I don't want to be ruled by someone who will tell me what to do, and I don't want to stay in a 9-to-5 environment. This is what can happen if you have Ascendant Aquarius and Ketu is on your 10th house and Rahu is on the 4th. Not bad thing, but also keep in mind that this can, due to your perceptions, could be that Ketu create some limitations or disharmonies at your career place, even conflicts with superiors. This is possible too. And then if you have Ascendant Capricorn, Rahu will be on your 5th house. Rahu on the 5th house is, 5th house is what? Children. 5th house is creative knowledge. 5th house is also beauty, talents. It is not only related to our to sexual desires. 5th house is a lot. It's pleasure, it is beauty, it's creating talents, beauty, it's creative activities. 5th house is a lot. It's a very beautiful house, naturally ruled by the sun. Therefore, 5th house is enlightenment too, and the 5th house is also called the house of the good fortune. So Rahu there, I believe, will get from the good vibrations of the 5th house, as the 5th house is considered benefic, since every malefic planet who enters the 5th house is becoming a bit better, is softened by the nature of the 5th house. So Rahu in the 5th will make you seek knowledge, enlightenment, but the knowledge, not the knowledge that you will get from the university, but the knowledge that will be very creative, that will be related to pleasure, design, beauty, and not only just creative knowledge. 5th house is the house of children too. That is why this can make you desire, want to spend time with your children. It is just time, this will be a time that you will say, I want just to spend time, be with my children. This will make you happy and very pleased. But in the very same time, Ketu will be on your 11th house. Not perfect for friendships, because this can be a limiting factor. And at one point you will say that you don't want to have these friends, and that you want a bit more time to spend more time with your children than with friends. Can be a limiting factor in a bit related to your finances too. But this is also a possibility. And could be also that you say, I want, these people are not my friends. I see the truth and I want to have different spiritual friends, let's say, because, you know, Ketu is very spiritual. So if you have Ascendant Sagittarius, then Rahu will be on your 6th house and Ketu will be on your 12th house. So in your 12th house. So Rahu in the 6th house is something, again, very interesting. He can make you a bit competitive. He can make you a bit, concentrated into the routine. Like you say, now I want to rearrange, or I want to arrange my work environment or my office. I want to make to concentrate more on my routine, on my job. Could be that you would say, I want to reestablish or improve my relationship with subordinates, or with the people that I work with, people that share my work environment. Or you can say, this will be timing for me to improve my health, to work towards improvement of my health, finding new creative mechanisms to improve my health. This is another thing. And then Ketu in the 12th house could be a little bit of a limiting factor when it comes to enemies. And yes, diseases, but then Rahu will give you the opportunity, most probably, to find ways for health improvement. But yes, Rahu in the 12th house can be a little bit of a challenging factor for enemies. So while on your work environment, your routine environment, you will be making friends, could be that on your on the other hand, you also will build enemies because of your competitiveness, which not everyone will like at your work, for example. And then we come at ascendant Scorpio. Then for you, Rahu will be on your 7th house. Rahu on the 7th, and on your ascendant you will be having Ketu. Ketu on your ascendant is very interesting because he will make you experience these desires of selflessness. Like there will not be even a trace of selfishness or ego, because you will think, you will want to do more for your partner, or you will find the partnership more important than yourself, or you will say that you want to do work or business in a partnership. You will find motivation in the partnership. If this is about your romantic partner, you will say that actually you're happy only in a partnership with your romantic partner. This is for people who have ascendant Scorpio. And yes, this is also very spiritual placement. This will make you desire to achieve higher vibrations, to achieve connection with your higher self, to uplift your vibration. So this can be a very spiritual experience, and not materialistic at all. And then on the other hand, Rahu will point towards relationship or agreements. So you will be happy if you do work or business with someone. And then, and you can find this even very important. And then for people who have ascendant Libra, then Ketu is on your 2nd house and Rahu is on your 8th house. Rahu on your 8th house is, 8th house is about secrets, esoterics, occultism, the money of the partner. So Rahu there can be very positive in terms of making, again, money through partnership, or the money of the partner can be good financially. Your partner could be good, in a good position. And then Ketu will be on your 2nd house. This is financially limiting factor, or not exactly. This is a limiting factor in terms of your desires to make money on your own. You will say, I am not materialistic now at all. I would rather do something with a partner, or I would just let him or her do the finances. This is the Ketu is a limiting factor in terms of money, because you detach yourself from financial and materialistic interests when your ascendant is Libra. You will say, oh, I am totally not interested in finances. Any financial deals are just boring, and not. And I'm more interested in my spirituality, or researching the occult. And what you will find in the occult, or the secrecy, or when you will be researching the matrix and the secrets, at times could be a bit scary and disappointing, because the 8th house is also associated with fears. And then for people who have ascendant Virgo, then Rahu will be on their 9th house and Ketu will be the 3rd. Rahu in the ninth house, passing through all these interesting degrees of Taurus is amazing for for desires to study, to know, to research psychological belief systems, religion. It is very interesting for achieving the ninth house is the house of the, it is called, it is where the sun is joyful. So it is the sign of knowledge. Could be that you will say, I want to travel, to find out, just it can make you curious and hungry for knowledge. This is what, and also could be that you say, I want to go on another level of my consciousness. I want to finish my studies or to start new studies. It will be a lot about education. And then watch out a little bit again, because Ketu on the third house can be a little bit limiting factor when it comes to relationship with siblings. And in terms of communication in general, so try to find the balance so that you feel well during this transit. And then for people who have ascendant Leo, and for them then Rahu will be on their 10th house and Ketu will be on their 4th house. This can suddenly make them desire to achieve rank, career, to yes, it will be very much plan and career oriented. Like they would say, now I want to reach something. I want my plans to, my desires to be fulfilled. I want to find my career path. And they can come up with different career ideas too, which Rahu will show them. Some can be very innovative and creative. And then you will have Ketu on the 4th. They will not give so much attention on the home. And it is good that they don't forget to this balance, to give attention to their parents and to the home, while they will have those ideas for career plans. And now for people who have Cancer ascendant, then Rahu be on their 11th house and Ketu on the 5th. Rahu in the 11th is good because the 11th house is considered, first of all, house of the good spirit, which is benevolent house. Whichever even malefic planet is there receives the good vibrations of the 11th house. And the 11th house is house of gains too. Rahu there is well, he will be thinking about money, finances, gains, and will come up with creative ideas of social life, social circle, friends. Many plans and ideas can Rahu come up with for people who have ascendant Cancer. And then Ketu will stay on in the same moment in their 5th house, house of children. It is good to be a bit cautious and responsible in relation to communication with children, or to just to be attentive towards children, and also not to, in order to achieve balance between what Rahu seek in terms of achieving goals, plans, finances. It's good also to achieve the balance, like thinking also about what the 5th house means, which is a design, creativity, pleasure, and yes, attention towards children. And then we have people who have ascendant Gemini and descendant Sagittarius, and for them Rahu will be on the 12th house and Ketu will be on the 6th. Actually, for them, Rahu can have an interesting role in the 12th house. He can make them, again, searching for the truth, because the 12th house is a secret house. It's a very karmic, searching for the truth, searching for spiritual awakening and information, spiritual experiences, because the 12th house is the house where we are searching for solitude, is self-isolation. The 12th house is also about empathy, taking care of poor, sick, it is temple, self-isolation. Indeed, it is. They could think of helping others, doing social activities, and they would seek self-isolation, spending time in the temple to contemplate, to do spiritual activities like meditation. They also may need to watch for enemies, because this axis 6th 12th house is activated, and then Ketu in the 6th is a bit attention point for health. It is good to have a healthy lifestyle, while Ketu is on the 6th house of people with ascendant Gemini, and also to stay away from trouble like conflicts, disagreements with subordinates of people that you may work with. This is another point of attention, indeed. And we started with Taurus Ascendant, and we can finish with Taurus Ascendant. Indeed, for you, yes, important is that at the moments when you'll be searching for your own achievements, your own spirituality, your own knowledge, your own emphasis on yourself, that you find balance and also find time for your partner. So I hope this was interesting. Thank you for your attention, and see you soon.